Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. I have a really great jam-packed episode for you. We're going to do a couple of different things today. We are about 4 days out from Thanksgiving. I will be doing a special Thanksgiving episode with some of the craziness that goes on in my household during the fantastic Turkey Day. And then I will have some turkey trivia, and I will have some other fun things for that episode. I plan to get that out probably the day after Thanksgiving. First up, we have some very exciting videos from the great couple James and Zaida Pavlovsky. You've seen them before, you know them, you love them, they've been on a lot. So now for this episode, we are doing what is called a tamalada, or they are doing what is called a tamalada. A tamalada is basically a cultural, traditional process, I guess you want to say, of getting people together to make tamales. So, for those of you who may not know what a tamale is, it is made from cornmeal for what they call the masa, or the dough that's made from cornmeal. You can add different spices to it, which you'll see in the video, and also you can do different insides for it, fillings. The traditional is normally pork, but you can have chicken, beef. You can also make them sweet by adding. Some people like to add like raisins to it. You can make it vegetarian. You can make them beans only. You can do bean and cheese. You can just do bean and pork, or you can do just about anything that you want inside the filling of a tamale. Tradition usually calls for pork, but in this day and age and over the years, just about everything is now traditional. This is James and Zaida putting together a great couple of videos where Zaida goes through the recipes that she uses. And if you take a look at the first video, you're going to see a picture frame right on the left-hand side of Zaida when she's in the kitchen. And it's a beautiful photo, and it's a photo of three women, tradition tamale makers. The first one is Marina, that is the mother, that is Zaida's mother, and then Zaida, and then Zaida's sister Zelda. So all three of them used to get together and make tamales, and so Zaida has carried on the tradition by what would you call it, drafting James, her husband, into it, and they go and they make a lot of tamales. So it's a really great series of videos. I'm just going to run them all together so you can see, do a little editing here, and I hope you enjoy it. If you have never seen how tamales are made, this is a great one for you. If you've never tried to make tamales before, this is a great one for you. Also, if you don't like the way that Zaida and James make the tamales, let me know. Please add it into the comments. Go to my YouTube page, Javier in the Air, find this episode, and episode 25, by the way, so you can notate it for later use. And let me know, oh, hey, I do it this way, and I think it's better. If you think it's better, send me a video of how you do it, and I'll get it on my podcast. If you like the way Zaida and James do it, certainly comment and let them know. They're great people. They're throwing themselves out there into the world of podcasting, and so we will see that. And so enjoy the tamalada.
I'm Zaida.
And I'm James.
And we're here to start making some tamales. But first of all, traditionally, we start with a tequila shot.
Cheers.
Okay, Excuse me. Let that go down a little bit. One of the first steps in starting your tamale making, you're going to have a chili mix that you will need in your chicken mix and your masa mix. We make a lot of chili mix so that we don't have to make it every year. It involves a lot in making the chili mix. You need 3 kinds of chilies: pasilla, casbel, and ancho chilies, and onion and garlic. You take all of these, you combine them, and you boil them, and then you remove the skins from the chilies and the seeds, wearing gloves, because you don't want the hot mix from the chilies to go through your skin. It will burn. And you boil them at room temperature, and then you sieve them through a screen or a cheesecloth until you've got a mix, and you keep this mix to mix into your chicken mix and your masa mix. Now your second step will be to do your chicken mix, which is what I have here. In your chicken mix, I have already deboned my chicken and put it in pieces, and for every 2 processed chickens, you will put in a cup of chicken broth, you will put cumin to taste. I will put a little bit of cumin in right now to taste. I will add cumin later if I need to. I would put chili powder, again to taste. Probably should have put the poor side out. Fresh garlic. I'm putting in 4 cloves of garlic. I'm using fine pink rock.
Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt. And then I'm using ground pepper, salt and pepper to taste. Then I am putting in 4 tablespoons of my chili mix, which I'm just cutting the corner off because I know the measurement of my chili mix here. And I'm putting all of it in there. And then I've got the lid to my Cuisinart mixer. I've got to plug it in.
And here's the other bag, because we put 2 bags.
You put 2 bags in.
Yep. And here's that one.
That's why I say it's very handy to have these made ahead of time, because I say it's the work is involved in boiling all the chilies and separating all the seeds and straining them. That's why when you make them, you want to make more than what you need so you don't have to make them the next year. Now I'll need my lid to my Cuisinart.
There you go.
Now I'm going to turn it on. should unplug it before you put anything in it. I'm going to toss it around a little bit. Oh, it looks really good. I'll plug it back in. I'll just put that down in there. And you've got your chicken tamale mix. And that's what you put on your tortilla, your shucks. Now your shucks, when you get to the farm, what you will do is you will soak your shucks for 1 hour. Now the next step of this video will be making the masa mix. Hello, I'm back after 2 shots of tequila and making the chili mix, which we did with the chilies, and we have our chili mix already prepared, which saved us a lot of time. And we've completed making the chicken mix, so we put that back in the refrigerator. Now we're going to make the masa mix, which is right here. I've broken up into pieces, and I'm going to get the lard, which this is 1 cup of the lard. It asks for 2.5 cups, but I'm starting with the lard. This is 1 cup, and it's melted, and I let it cool off a bit because it was hot. Now I'll mix it. It's good to have gloves. Now then, after that, I will be needing 2 tablespoons of baking powder. So I will take, I think I'll add more melted lard because it's not congealing enough.
Here's another cup.
Here's another cup. And be careful because it will squirt out at you. So it's good to have an apron on. Now I'm going to spread it out. I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of baking powder. Sprinkle it all around. That's 2 tablespoons. And then 2 tablespoons of cumin. Would you take that top off for me, please? Thank you. I think I'm only going to put in 1 tablespoon. And then 2 teaspoons of salt. Here's a teaspoon. There's 1 teaspoon. 2 teaspoons. And I put in 2 teaspoons of pepper. I think I'm only going to put 1 teaspoon in. And then I put 2 tablespoons of the Heinz ketchup. Heinz chili sauce, I mean. And then 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And then I put in my chili mix, which again, I saved a lot of time. I made extra. Cut the corner off. Put the corner away. Squeeze out my chili mix. I'll be using 2 bags. Thank you, James. The time saver is making the chili mix. Now we mix it all together. Now this is only 1 batch of the masa mix. I'll be making the second batch on my own. But this really completes the masa making mix. It's just a matter of mixing it up. Now might put another cup of lard in it, but I'm not sure. But right now, this really completes the masa making mix. But let me get it mixed up for you so you can see what it will look like. And then our next segment will be the actual making of the tamales, which we'll be doing down at our farm, my brother-in-law's farm. And we'll be using several types of methods of making the tamales.
Most of the ingredients we got were from HEB. The exception was the corn husk and the masa mix and the lard we got from Fiesta Market on 38th and I-35 in Austin. And usually once she gets tired, I'll pick up and continue mixing.
So we'll see you again next time when we start making the tamales. Thank you for watching. Hi, welcome back. We're at the last portion of making the tamale making. We're starting off again with a tequila shot. Salud.
And a beer chaser.
Finish it. Whew. Okay. Whew. As I said, make sure you make enough chili mix when you're first making your tamales so you'll have them from year to year. The second step we did was the chicken mix. We did that at home. The third step was the masa mix, which we made at home. The fourth step we did when we got here to the farm was soaking the shucks, the corn shucks, which are these, for an hour, and we found an igloo chest, which we immersed them in water and put a heavy pan over it for an hour so they would get soft. Then what you did, you would separate them into sizes of about 4 inches wide maybe, so that you would be able to fold them up for tamales, and we'll show you how to do that later. Then you would also make sure that you would have the right side up. And the way you can tell that is with gloves off, you would find out which side was soft and which side was rough. Now, you can usually tell very easily by just feeling, or you can tell which side is shiny and which side is not. The shiny side is soft. Then you stack them up accordingly. Shiny side up, shiny side down. That's shiny side up, rough side down. Okay, then what you do is you take your leaf in the palm of your hand, or you can put it on the table if you'd like.
I like to put mine on the table.
Take a big hunk of your masa mix, put it on your leaf, and spread it from end to end. From the side, down to the corner, down to the bottom, down to the corner again, down to the side, and down to the side again. And I'll show you what it looks like. Roughly it will look like that. Not too much masa, because you don't want it to be overwhelmed by the chicken. Then James will take it and he'll stuff it with the chicken.
Okay, so now that I have the masa on, I take the chicken and I try to make a little kind of sort of a tube of chicken out of it. And I just sort of work it in my hand and roll it up, and I want to fill up the length of the where we put the masa down with the roll of chicken. Okay, and then once I get that in there, then I'm simply going to start rolling, going over the chicken roll and all the way to the end until I finish it, and then I take the bottom end and I fold it over, and then press that end in, and then that's the finished tamale ready for cooking.
Now, I've done another one, but what I did was I tore off the end, if you were watching, because it was too big. So now I have another one for James to make.
So normally the way we do this is she'll put the masa on and I'll put the chicken on and do the roll. This is sort of our own process that we've developed that seems to work the best, especially since I've been known to put too much masa on the corn husk, which is not good.
So as you can tell, I usually keep ahead of him. So folks, that is our tamale making, and we will show you the end result once we steam them. Our steamer is in the background, cooking on the stove, as you will see over here.
And we actually have two pots. We have the steamer pot with hot water going, and then we keep an extra pot of hot water going. So we can add hot water to the steamer as we cook them, since we have to cook them for about 45 minutes and the water will eventually steam off. So the next section we come to will be us taking all of these that we've made here, and once we feel like we have enough to fill up one level of the steamer, then we'll show putting them in and getting them cooking. And that's it.
Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Bye. And here is the stacked tamales that we have put together and stacked in our steamer, which we will steam for 45 minutes, and then we will have a taste test. We have put a cup in the middle to keep them stacked in an upright position, and we will check on them in 45 minutes.
Wow. I don't know about you. I think James and Zaida did a fantastic job with their tamalada. They showed everything from the beginning to the end process. Or if you're looking at this reverse, the beginning to the end process. So, great job. Thank you, James and Zaida, for putting yourselves out there and showing us how you all make tamales. I also love the fact that their tradition requires that they start off with a couple of shots of tequila. I don't know about you, but I think pretty much starting out with a couple of shots of tequila to do anything is pretty much pretty good for the most part. Maybe not, starting out like to drive or anything like that. But, the people that drink tequila on a regular basis, you know what I'm talking about. It's good. It's good stuff. And I'm not sure what they were drinking there, but I know their personal tequila of choice is Herradura, kept in the freezer, and you drink it as cold as you can. I myself have different types of tequila that I love. All of them. I love Herradura and a bunch of other ones, and so it's really great tradition. If you want to start a tradition on how to making tamales in your home, feel free to add to the comment below on my podcast, or you can reach out to me directly and I'll tell you how to get a hold of Zaida, and then if Zaida is nice enough, she will show you or tell you how to do it. Now, like I said before, if you don't like the way they did it or you have a better way that you can do it, show me. Put your tamale where your mouth is. All right? Don't just comment and then be like mine are better and then you don't tell us why they're better or how you do it better than James and Zaida did. Show us. We are always willing to learn more about tamales. So, and by the way, they did on the steaming part of it, they did go a little bit longer because it all has to do with the pot that you use, the amount of water that you have going. And I found this out, and James and Zaida were nice enough to tell me this, that because your steamer will go through a lot of water as you're steaming, and if you're doing a lot of tamales, and they did a lot of tamales, not super huge amount, because I know some people out there like my cousins Rosemary and Victor and them get together and make one, and I know my tio Olga and her family will make some as well. So I don't know how many they make. I'll see if I can find out. But if you're making a lot of dozens of tamales, you have to keep that water in there because you have to steam them. So you have to keep the water going. And that steaming always, the steam's escaping, so you're always losing that water. So the trick is what they told me, is that you need to have hot water on the stove. So you have your steamer going and you have a pot of hot water on the stove that's just around boiling or a little bit less than boiling, because you don't want to boil it off. You want to just keep it hot. And so you heat it up or you keep it at a temperature that it's hot, and then you add that water to the steamer. So you don't have the shock of, tap water or even cold water going into the steamer, and then it has to go through that whole process of getting up to boiling temperature in order to steam. You want to try to start off already at a good temperature. You start off with the hot water and you pour it in and slowly add. But again, you don't want to add too much water. So there is a fine line on what you have to do, because you don't want to have the water too high. You don't want to have it above any of the tamales once you submerge that basket in the steamer. You want to have them just at the low level, just below the top of the tamale, because otherwise the water's going to get in and it'll get soggy and it'll get nasty. So good trick, good tip. Thank you, James and Zaida, for your tamalada. And so now we're gonna move on to the middle portion. I know we usually have two portions. You know, the let's talk about something other than beer and beer. But today I have a very special guest that I interviewed earlier this week. Her name is Stacy Barrett. She is doing the Be the Light craft fair. And also, for some of you people in the Cedar Park area, you may know her as Stacy Barrett, otherwise known as Crazy Stacy and Crazy Stacy Jelly. If you've never had it, I highly recommend it. I am looking here for the Be the Light Craft Fair. And so we have some exciting news and interview about it, and then I have an update after the interview. So I'm going to turn it over to Interview Hav, and Interview Hav is going to be interviewing Crazy Stacy and her jellies with the exciting news that I was talking about. So take it away, Interview Hav. Hey, thanks, Podcast Hav. Hey, everybody. This is Interview Hav here with a really great neighbor just around the corner from me. And we have some interesting information about something that's coming up. And then we're gonna talk about our business first, and then a little bit about a fair that is coming up. And I'm going to let Stacy Barrett give all the information. But first, Stacy, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Stacy Barrett. I have been known as my nickname for years as Crazy Stacy. I grew up, spent most of my life growing up in Missouri, moved a lot. So I've got two wonderful kids. Our daughter is 20 and she's in college in Ohio. And I've got our 16-year-old son. The hardest thing there is just getting his hiney out of bed.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've lived in our house for 18 years and moving my whole life. I told my husband we're here. So I know everybody everywhere.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about Crazy Stacy's Jelly and how you went about started doing it.
Well, it was whenever we first moved in the house, we actually had peach, pear, and plum trees outside, and we had a grapevine. Okay. And so we had all this stuff growing and didn't know what to do with it. So I just started, figuring out stuff. And so I started kind of making jelly from that, and then it kind of grew from there. Okay. And it's, I just started out making it, for us, giving it and stuff. And then it just kind of went from there. It's like I had a friend who had a pomegranate tree. She goes, Stacy, I need your help. Get these pomegranates. And then it has just grown, over all this time. And of course, the different kinds of jelly and stuff that I make has changed. Right. I've never been one of those that makes, 50 million different flavors because it's just me. Right. And I'm doing it in my kitchen, and I don't have enough room to make a ton. So it kind of started from there, and it's grown. But I've been doing it for, goodness, probably over 10 years.
Wow, very nice. Now, just to let the audience in on it, this is how I met Stacy. So I'm sitting in the Pavlovsky's driveway, which everybody who's watched the podcast know the Pavlovskys. They're 3 doors down from me. And we were having a garage sale, and a young lady pulls up, and she's like, oh, my God, you're having a garage sale. And we were like, yeah, we're having a garage sale. And then she started talking to us a little bit about some of the stuff we had and the arts and crafts. And all of a sudden, she started talking about her business. And she's like, I'm known as Crazy Stacy. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, how you doing, Crazy Stacy? How you doing? And she started telling me about her jelly business, and she gave me her card. And at the time, this is pre-COVID, by the way. This is actually probably a couple years now.
Yeah, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, and when I was doing my tastings, I would figured it would be great to have some of this local mom and pop, or just mom jelly, as Stacy likes to.
Yeah, I'm the only crazy.
Mom doing it. The dad don't do it. Mom is there. And have that for the tasting. So I had crackers out, and I had cream cheese, and I put,
your is
Jalapeno.
it is it blackberry jalapeno?
I've made the regular jalapeno too, but everybody's kind of really going toward the blackberry.
The
So
blackberry jalapeno is fantastic. Let me tell you, audience, it's great. I also did the margarita one, I think.
strawberry margarita.
Strawberry margarita. Both of them killed. So I really had none left the next day. So which is unfortunate because I was like, maybe I can have a little, little nosh in the morning. No, gone. So so I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. I'll post everything at the end, of course, Stacy. I'll post your site. I highly recommend the strawberry margarita and the blackberry jalapeno. And what are the other flavors that you have?
The ones I'm making right now is, of course, the apple butter.
Yes.
Yeah, apple butter, pomegranate, the strawberry rhubarb.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the blackberry jalapeno. I kind of keep it low because I know there's other people who make like a ton of different flavors.
Right.
Again, it's me doing it by myself.
Sure.
So I'll have 4, maybe 5 different kinds each time I'm at an event or because I can't take on doing like 20 different flavors.
No, that's good.
And
You do your flavors, you do them well,
Mhm.
and people know you for your flavors, and
Exactly.
that's nothing wrong with that. So
That and my craziness.
no, that is true too. That is true too. So that's fantastic. So before we get into the big event that we're here for, so you do the jellies, and you I know that during the time of La Rona, as I like to call it, we have a lot of people at home that are kind of making their own things. And so tell us about your struggle and your hunting adventures for your jars.
Oh my goodness. All the years I've been doing this, I've never had that problem. And so this year it has been crazy. Each time I go into whatever store I'm at, I'm telling my customers too, hey, if you have any empty jars, which I've told you to, you have any of your empty jars, I need them. And so go into the stores, and this is what's really bad. I'm not as young physically as I am mentally. So
Okay.
if I go into a store and I find jars, I sit there and literally, again, it's crazy, Stacy, I'll put them in my cart, and I'm not joking. I am not making this up. I will literally dance all the way to check-in, all the way to the car, all the way put it in my car, all the way, and then I get home and I go, ouch.
Well, as long as you're not also filling up the cart with like cat food so that you're known as the cat food jar lady, then I think it's okay.
But
Well,
yeah, and I've had a lot of help from my customers and stuff. And hey, Stacy, I've got jars. Other people who are out, if they're in stores, hey, I found some, and
Right.
so I've had a lot of comments. So I'm pretty stocked up.
That's great. That's great because we have a big event coming up.
I
So
know.
December 5th. Now, what park is it? Is it the one right here in El Salito?
Yes, it's the Anderson Mill West Park, right next to Cypress Elementary.
Right next to Cypress Elementary, everybody. Anderson Mill West Park.
Yeah, it's on El Salito.
On El Salito. You can look it up, but we also have the name of the fair is Be the Light Craft Fair. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so Be the Light Craft Fair, December 5th, 11
From 11 to 4.
11 to 4, right here. You can also come by and say hello to Javier in the air. This is where I film it, right here, right down the street from it. So, and I will be there, and I will be taking videos of the different vendors, and I will put together a special podcast for that, and then I will send it out to everyone as well. So, talk me through a little bit about the Be the Light Craft Fair, what it's about, what can you do if you're a vendor, if you have any spots still available, and talk a little bit also about precaution measures that you have in place.
Oh, yeah. Well, first I want to tell you how I kind of came up with the idea.
Sure.
It has been plus years that I've had a booth at Cedar Park High School for their holiday bazaar. Obviously, that's not happening.
Right.
And so I even started thinking about, what about making a map of the vendors in this area, and then having, they could have their booth in their driveway,
Sure.
and then people could follow the map. Well, I've got some friends of mine that gave me some great ideas.
Okay.
And turning it into having an event like this. And so I had to go on to the Med District and ask approval.
Sure.
And never been on anything like that before. It was interesting.
Okay.
But they were so excited because they own the park. And so I just had to get their approval to do it.
Sure.
And it has exploded from there. The vendors that would have booths there, they're so excited. It's been day after day. I've been getting people who are registering to have a booth there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's excited. I was at HEB today because I had to go get groceries, and there's just a stranger, and I'm looking at something, and I started talking to her. She wrote it down. She put it on her phone, on her calendar, just to come and be there.
Nice.
Everybody is excited. And with the COVID, it has caused a lot of people that have, issues. But we're at the point right now, everybody's ready to get out of the house. They're ready to go to this kind of event.
Right.
So last Sunday, I had a booth, and it was for Glen High School project graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in a field, so they had 70 vendors.
Wow.
70 vendors, and the only thing that was wrong was the wind was blowing a million miles an hour. But
okay.
You would think wearing a mask that all the allergy stuff wouldn't get you.
Right.
But no, so that's the biggest thing. And so that's the other one. I know the lady who's in charge of project graduation for Glenn. I met her last year, but again, it doesn't take long for people to get to know her.
Right.
So I've been talking with her too. And so, I'm doing the same thing they're doing. Each vendor needs to have hand sanitizer at their booth. All the vendors are required to wear a mask during the whole event. Obviously, we can't require for the visitors to, but
we highly recommend.
Highly recommended. 98% of the vendors that are the visitors that were there, they had their masks on.
Right.
So, and everybody kept their distance. There was no, it's like 150 times better than going to HEB and being outdoors. Sure. And so everybody is excited to be at something like that.
Right.
But they're also taking safety measures.
That is great. Yeah, and I want to remind the audience and spread the word. Yes, we can't. It's not required, but we really would like everyone to do it. I'm sure Stacy's agreement with me. She's nodding her head. Because it's not really just about you. It's not about you. You're doing it to protect others. And since we know that some of these things, asymptomatic people don't even know they have it till they get tested. I don't feel bad, but then they feel bad all of a sudden, like 8 to 12 to 24, 72 hours later, and by then it's too late. So you're really doing it to respect others, and so please, everyone, try to do your best to wear your mask. It's only for a short time. You can run through there and then get out, and then you can take the mask off. We're not telling you to be there 24/7. It's only from 11 to 4. You get in, get your jelly, get some of that fancy monkey bread that I saw too, and the
gnomes.
And the gnomes. So real quick, and I'll call it up on during the podcast as well when I have it up there. I was looking at it. This is by the way, everyone, if you do a search on Facebook for Be the Light Craft Fair, all 5 words. You can see some of the fantastic stuff that some of the vendors are going to have out there. There's one lady, looks like Marla Johnson Bays, and she does gnomes, and she has it a gnome for your home. And I'll flash up the picture here during when I edit this. Another young lady, Resi Murray. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Resi. Abstract Expressions by Resi, and you can see some of her photos there, and some of them look really cool. I don't know if I'll be able to afford them, but they look really cool. I like the expressions that she has out there. And then somebody named Crystal Lynn. This is the one I was talking about. She has monkey braid out there,
Oh yeah.
and it just looks fantastic. And if you've never had monkey bread, it's just I don't even know where to go. It's fantastic. So there's also someone that's posting. I just saw it now. Someone that does fairies.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. So
Yeah.
some of them are pretty cool. So if you're looking for anything local, and you try to help out. Oh, here's the other one. This one, Crystal Lynn also
Oh yeah.
posted some banana bread
Mm.
brioche. I just like to say that brioche
Say
bread
it again.
pudding, something called Oreo balls, no pun intended. Um, peppermint bark, fruit cobblers. Now that I don't know how I'm gonna try to avoid that, but there's fruit cobblers there. So
Yeah.
anyway, so there's a lot more. How many vendors you got somewhere so far, Stacey?
Right now we have 28.
28 vendors.
And so we've got room for more. Definitely. At first, when we did the walkthrough, I mean, we could have gotten 80,
Right.
but because we've kind of moved it down to like maybe 60, and we might move it down a little bit more, just as long as
Right.
everything's good with the mud district.
Right.
But we had already planned on having the booths about 10 feet apart.
Okay. Good.
So even for the Glenn High School project graduations, there were booths that were right next to each other. There was hardly any space in between. And
Yeah.
so that was my first thing, 10 feet apart.
Okay. Good.
And so, and of course, in that park, and we might spread it out a little bit more, but I don't think we'll need to. 10 feet apart, I think, is really good.
Okay. Perfect. So 10 feet apart. So any vendors out there that are listening and watching my podcast, you can certainly reach out to Crazy Stacy. You can go to Be the Light Craft Fair. There is a vendor document. I think you got a Google Doc out there now.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
So that they can fill out. There is a small nominal fee. Also, do we know, Stacy, do you know if people are going to be able to do credit card pay, or is
Yes.
that by vendor by vendor?
If the vendors have the option to either do Venmo or cash. And so those are the easiest because we could do PayPal or we could do Square, but the fees are like, we'd have to increase the price for their booth a little
Sure.
bit.
Sure.
Because the main reason for this whole event is for vendors like me, who this is like the money that they get for having booths at these events is Christmas money.
Right. Right.
And so this is a nonprofit event. I mean, the vendors, obviously, they'll be selling their stuff, and so they will get money for the items they sold.
Right.
But only a small portion of the vendors' $25 fees are going to go just to help with signs, have extra hand sanitizer locations
Sure.
in the park. All of the rest of it is going to go to Christmas Shop, which is a nonprofit. And basically all of those funds, we're going to give it to them. And they, if y'all haven't heard about it, it's an awesome thing where literally people sign up, they get their names on the list, and they can get gifts for their kids starting at $1, $3, $5, $10. The most expensive gift would be $20, and that would be like a bike.
Wow. Okay.
And
that's fantastic.
So
yeah.
that was the biggest I wanted to try to find. And I looked around at several different ones, but this one really got my heart. And of course, it's different for them this year because they'll have to do drive-through, people picking up the gifts. They don't get to go in and actually shop.
Right.
But it is
that's
just
good.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. But that is the biggest reason why the number one is for the vendors, because I knew it was, weird for me after all these years. And then I realized too, the other vendors, again, this is a need for them as well.
No, definitely. So then, so everybody out there, you don't have to break your piggy banks because you haven't been going anywhere. So and let's give some money out to the local mom and pop, or mom, or just pop. I don't know.
Or just crazy.
But yeah, for Crazy Stacy, it's just moms. So let's get together and help out our fellow local community. Let's bring your money out there. Venmo if you want it. If you're more want to worry, want to distance yourself contact wise. I know myself. I will probably just bring a big handful of money and go out there and try to buy a little bit of everything. It's for a good cause. It's for good local vendors, and let's take some of that money that we've been giving to Amazon and let's give it out to a local area, a mom and pop place. I know everybody, the vendors there are probably going to have their signs up and be prominent about it. I will do a walkthrough video. I will post it on my podcast. I will also probably do a little one-on-one interviews while I'm out there, get some of their feedback on there, and see if they have any locations that people can go to if they miss out on this craft fair. And hopefully everything will go great. I know it will go great, and then we can maybe make this kind of a either annual, semi-annual, quarterly, every day.
Yeah. Okay, don't push it. I got to make sure I can find jars to make jelly enough for.
Yeah. So
I was going to bring something up just real quick too.
Sure.
All of the vendors that are going to be at this event is all local vendors. This is only going to be local arts and crafts vendors.
Excellent.
So I mean, we've got people that are doing wood stuff. We've got people that are doing all kinds of different crafts, of course, masks, jewelry. We've got and if you'll see posts on the Facebook site. But this is all for local people like me. It's not going to be for any other kind of businesses. That's the focus.
No, perfect. We talked a little bit before we go. We talked a little bit about that some of these vendors definitely have food, but there's not going to be any food trailers there, unfortunately, this time because there's no available space. Perhaps next time, people. And what would something else? Certainly no alcohol. There's an alcohol-free thing, right? I mean, unless there's some soaked brownies or something. But I mean, I don't know. I don't want to.
If I make the strawberry margarita jelly, I'm sorry, it boils out that alcohol. You just get the flavor.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry. Yeah, I know.
That's all right. But you know what? We can do without alcohol for 5 hours. So I mean, that's all good. So excellent, Stacy. Once again, thank you, everybody. Crazy Stacy's Jelly. Go to her website and Be the Light Craft Fair, December 5th, 11 to 4. Literally just down the street. I could probably yell at the vendors when they get going. I am right there, and I will be there with bells on, or maybe not. I don't know if I wear the bells or not. But I'll have my hat on. I definitely have the Indiana Jones hat on, and I'll be out there. So I hope to see you out there December 5th. Thanks again, Stacy. Thanks for coming on the show. And we'll have a follow-up with the craft fair podcast coming up soon. So everybody, we'll see you out there. Thanks a lot.
Everybody be the light.
Be the light. All right.
Bye.
The increased measures that are coming in place because of COVID and how it is affecting so many people now. Travis County and now Williamson County are in stage red or level red. I'm not sure which way they call it. So there is a update to it. If you go to the Be the Light Craft Fair, you see that the update that due to circumstances beyond everyone's control, they are not going to be able to have the craft fair live. It is going to be now a virtual event. And I hope everybody will go on Facebook and search for Be the Light Craft Fair. Stacy does have an update for the vendors. We're still going to have something. It's going to be all virtual now. You're going to get more information on that page. So be sure and check out that page on how you're going to be able to buy some of this great stuff. I'm going to try to put some photos in here at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one beer in here. I like to always have at least one beer on the show. So I'm going to have one beer review from long ago on here. And then I'm going to cut away to the credits. And then, or actually I'm going to cut away to some of the photos from the Be the Light Craft Fair of some of the vendors, and I'm gonna also show the link that you can go to on Facebook, and then that will be it, and then we'll have the end credits. So since I won't be coming back on here, I just want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks to James and Zaida Pavlovsky for providing us with that great Tamalada videos. Thanks to Stacy Barrett, Crazy Stacy, for the talk about jelly, and then also about the Be the Light craft fair. And once again, that has now moved to a virtual event. So if you have a chance, please go to the Facebook page and check it out. It's still going to be on December 5th. So go ahead and check it out. And I will be coming back at you with a special Thanksgiving episode. I'll probably won't be able to get it out till Friday, Black Friday, but I will definitely get it out for Thanksgiving. And it'll have some handy dandy little stuff on there, and hopefully it'll work out really great. So to everyone, have a great week. Enjoy your Turkey Day. Hope you get to spend it with some people, social distance wise. Wear the mask if you have to, if you have not in your COVID bubble. And even if they are, please be careful. Keep your distance. Keep your group numbers down to a minimum. And I will talk to you again soon. Now on to the beer review, the links, and then the credits.
Hey everyone, Javier here again. Want to give a shout out to Team Boutique and thank them for staying open. And if you haven't had a chance to go by, go ahead and go by. Scott's posting a lot of beers out there, a lot of new ones. I can't wait to get my hands on them. I should be coming by the end of next week, Scott, just to let you know. All right, so the beer we're looking at today is coming out of Clown Shoes. And this is a Fistful of Unidragon. It's a Russian Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels. Looks really good, really cool beer can. All right, so here it is, nice and dark. It even has a nice like honey tinge to it. Really nice on the front end, smooth. It goes down smooth. You get a taste of that little bit of the bourbon coming out of that, and it's really good. So if you haven't tried it, go ahead and try it. If you think there's a better Russian Imperial Stout out there, please post your response. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.